and statesmen shall always stand. Today I wish us to commemorate Martin Luther Nsibirwa for the contribution he made towards the establishment of the education in Uganda, not just in Makerere University. I think that deserves a right hand clap. I think we as statesmen, we as activists, we as not voters, we should learn particular lessons. And one of them should be sacrifice above self. I want to thank the family, most especially Mama Rhoda. Thank you so much for always bringing back those memories that we can stand high and say that we are part of Nsibirwa, we are part of Makerere University. Thank you so much. For my country, education for the very future.
That we sit on this afternoon as Makerere University, defying all odds and protests from officials within the kingdom. By virtue of this great and noble act, we as Makerere University are here where we are this afternoon. This afternoon, we are celebrating Nsibirwa through the second annual public lecture. We organized as Makerere University the first Nsibirwa public lecture on the 6th of May 2022 as part of the Makerere at 100 celebrations, where we were celebrating 100 years of existence as a university. And we were honoring and celebrating the life and indeed the martyrdom of the late Katikkiro of Buagnda Kingdom. As Makerere strives to become a research-led institution, we continue to host public lectures and the Nsibirwa public lecture annually, not only to celebrate a life that stands tall in the history of Makerere, but also to spark debate and intellectual discourse. So we're not only here to celebrate, but we hope that from this gathering we are going to gain discourse that will advance the research agenda of the university as well as the development agenda of the country. We therefore thank very much Makerere University for this step that has been taken. This afternoon we have...
The first date is April 1875, when Kabaka Mutesa I wrote a letter to Queen Victoria of England. The letter was in Uganda, and it read as follows. It won't be accurate because my Uganda sometimes goes. But he said, Njagala, ompereze abantu bo, abagenda okuyigiriza abantu bange okuwandiika n'okusoma. That paper in the original handwriting of Sir Kagwa is kept in our university library. It is a historical document which will definitely be in our university museum when we eventually open that museum. That was the beginning of modern education, because we had had education before. Of course, the Queen didn't really understand what Kabaka Mutesa wanted. So he began by sending missionaries, but it's okay, because the missionaries are the one who eventually brought education. The second date is 4th September 1945. That is the date as we were informed by Honorable Karima earlier on, where many of you are not today, Martin Luther Nsibirwa was brave enough to sign a document which many people had feared to sign, to allow the colonial government at the time to take possession of the land at Makerere in order to expand Makerere to become a university. And as many of you know, the following day he was assassinated on the steps of Makerere as he was going to pray. So those 2 days are extremely important for us. And it is just befitting that we honor the people who sacrificed for the development of our country through the introduction of modern education. If Makerere started in grass thatched houses with barefoot students, that is now one of the greatest universities in the world, it is because Kabaka Mutesa wrote that letter that time, and Martin Luther was brave enough to sign that document. I would like to thank all of you for coming. I want to, in a special way, to thank our king
to ensure future generations are educated. And there are not many of us today who are courageous enough to do that. We have the vision, forethought, and ability to understand and see the future, even without a degree, about the importance of this education. So my ask is, we as living today, are we good stewards of this heritage? Are we good stewards of realizing the importance and the value of this wonderful asset we inherited, which somebody lost their life for? Or are we just passers-by, willing time and hoping for the future that something will happen? My challenge in coming from DFCU is that we appreciate and respect the importance of education. We also appreciate the importance of history. We appreciate the importance of culture. And being in this country for almost close to 60 years now, we are part and parcel of the heritage of Uganda. And today, we also want to pay homage and respect to the institution, but more importantly, to the men who dedicated his life and commitment to the education and to the future. The one who saw the doomsday and planted the seed, and he didn't wait for this vault that we see in Norway today, but gave a vault here in Uganda by a piece of land to allow us to inherit the future. That we have got the 7 generations that happened during this time. They're all still alive, and they've all gone through this process. And we really want to say thank you to his family and thank you to everybody for that wonderful recognition and the importance of that. He was life and breakers. Let us be inspired by his dedication to education. Let us commit ourselves by removing the barriers that hinder access to education, to fostering a culture of lifelong learning, and to instilling in future generations the belief that they have power to shape a better world. As DFCU Uganda, we are proud of our social education sector, not just as a leading provider of credit education sector across the country, but also as a key player in transforming lives and business in Uganda as a whole. Additionally, we believe that by supporting education in Uganda and pioneering the spirit of many Martin Luther Nsibirwas over the next years of our service to this country in agriculture, infrastructure, IC trade, we will see a more prosperous and growing Uganda. Let us remember that as we look at the 7 generations of our lives in this world today, in Africa we say, an educated child is the letter we write ourselves to the future. Let us today write letters ourselves to the future. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Diwa.
You can't continue to be relevant even with protection and preservation and movement of culture if it doesn't mean anything to people. And we have come up with, for the last 30 years, ways of the second bottom line is to see how to support the population of Uganda to transform socially and economically. We look at education, we look at health, we look at economic empowerment, and we have become a case study, CAS, on how to use a cultural and heritage approach to fight AIDS, to mobilize for immunization, donate blood, and through this, we have been invited to speak and demonstrate how we have been able to do that. Uganda Kingdom, or His Majesty Kabaka's government, is on record to have been able to collect the biggest pints of blood in one day in the world, and he got an award. And using a cultural approach to do some of those things. And AIDS prevalence in Uganda, and AIDS is most prevalent in Uganda because of the nature everybody is here, has gone down by half since the Kabaka became the patron of fighting AIDS, women leading the fight against AIDS to save the girl child. The third and last bottom line is to ensure that the kingdom is financially sustainable to support the first two bottom lines. So the kingdom invests. We have over 20 trading companies. We are in telecoms, we are in media, we are in education, we are in real estate, and the money we get from there, beyond the donations, allows us to support the first two crucial bottom lines. So as I conclude,
the story of the African people has been distorted. We don't celebrate our heroes. This is a great work you're doing. Celebrating our heroes and making the young people know the history of this country. We thank you so much. We don't take it for granted as council. We would like to thank the government of Uganda. There are countries in this continent that cannot sit like they're seated here and talk boldly about the history and great people of their country. So we thank the government of Uganda through President Nsibirwa and mainly our minister that has afforded us the opportunity to have these public lectures. Thank you so much. I'd like to also thank the organizing committee. Where are they? The keynote presenter has made it very clear to you. He presented his humility and honesty in leadership. He sacrificed his whole life to make sure there is this university. He could have gone to Kenya or to Tanzania. We thank the family. We ask God to bless him wherever he is. I'm sure he's standing with smiles wherever he is right now because we are celebrating him. We'd like to add the young people. Read more about him. Learn the values and the value system that he has left with us and practice it, please. And I plead to everybody in the leadership space of this country and Africa, let's emulate the value system and the work he's done. He did not use his power to disgrace his community or to grab people's property. The presenter talked to you what is going on in this country, land grabbing. How much land does one need? Why do you deprive poor people from owning their own land? Why do you take advantage of your office to cause injustice to people? Let's pay attention to the value system left with us by Nsibirwa. In a very special way, Uganda Kingdom is an amazing kingdom. Very welcoming, very warm, very firm, Keep it up. I'd like to testify the welcoming nature of the Buagnda kingdom, or Buagnda people. When I was a young man, I was sent on duty in Zimbabwe to mobilize people for my political party. When I addressed the district council, then the leadership, they said, maybe there was something going on in Buagnda. So from that day, I was named, given a Buagnda name. Nchima clan, of course. So this is to tell you how warm this kingdom and welcoming it is to people who do not come from the Buagnda culture. Please, on behalf of the University Council, extend our strong message of appreciation and goodwill to the King and the entire kingdom. As a university, we'll continue to celebrate the African dream and all Ugandans who have made contribution to life.
Of resilience, values that were championed by both Nsibirwa and Makerere University. I'm therefore deeply honored for the privilege accorded to me by the university to deliver this lecture. Makerere University, standing tall at this essential existence, has been the cradle of knowledge, a beacon of progress, and a source of pride for Uganda and Africa. Makerere University has shaped minds, fostered creativity, and ignited flames of change that continue to burn brightly today. Makerere's journey has not been without hurdles, but each hurdle has been an opportunity for growth and introspection. A testament, in my view, to the resilience of our people, the tenacity of our scholars, and the dedication of university leaders, including the late Frank Alimuzo, the late Saint Zakaturi, Professor Xavier Wandera, George Kia, Professor Sepufu, and others that have led this great university. As a product of Makerere University, I was able to join and thrive in the University of Cambridge in the United Kingdom, where I was a good student, and while there, the people that I met, the teachers and the professors that I met, never asked me, never wondered where I came from. The only thing they asked mostly was about Idi Amin, and the other one was about Makerere. I know that there are many Makererians that have left a mark in the world, including Professor Katikkiro of Buagnda in the University of Toronto, Canada, Professors Oloko Nyango and Cynthia Tamale at the University of Harvard, Professor Kanyahama and John G. Maria at the University of Warwick in the UK, Professor Dan Kwadada Nabdele at the University of Dar es Salaam, Benjamin Mkapa, ex-president of Tanzania, Mwai Kibaki, ex-president of Kenya, Professor Kibwe Makuya at Yale, Professor Maudani at Columbia, and the list goes on and on. Professor, now we haven't mentioned the university, to forgive me. In Uganda we say, I want to extend gratitude to the family of the Nsibirwas for preserving Nsibirwa's legacy and commend individuals like Honorable Rhoda Kalema, Oweekitiibwa Wagwa Nsibirwa, Honorable Maria Chiwanuka, Olokoma here, Dr. Gladys. He grew up under the patronage of Apollo Kabua, as we had this lunchtime. He taught himself to read and write, and he served the Kingdom of Buagnda for an uninterrupted period of 41 years. Nsibirwa started as a land clerk in the government of Kingdom. He became a Gogoro chief and later a southern chief. He became a Makerere and Buagnda in Singo. And thereafter he was appointed as Obuagnda. Obuagnda means the minister in charge of finances in 1935. He stayed there for a very little time before he became Katikkiro of Buagnda under the time of Sergeant. And he was reappointed by Sergeant Mutesa in 1945. This profile of a man who is self-educated, of a man with no formal education, demonstrates that leadership is not about university professors and achieving academic qualifications. Leadership is born, and even without Western education, we see that people like Nsibirwa demonstrate that in Africa we had and still have leaders like Martin Luther Nsibirwa. I want to tell you a story about my stay here at the university. I joined the Makerere University in 1970.
9, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, launch! And the book is duly launched, Thrones and Thorns, 30 years of restoration of traditional rule. For the first print of the book, they supported the print of 200 copies. Professor Nawangwe, Makerere University is going to receive 100 copies of the book and 100 copies to give